Hello everybody and welcome to the channel Crossing the Spiritual Streams. My name is Sandra and today we're going to do a Tarot Pick-a-Pile card reading for the astrological sign of Scorpio for the year 2021. This is going to be just general energies, some things that you might face or run across or have to deal with throughout the year, that kind of thing. We do have 3 different piles to choose from here. We have pile 1, which has a red stone, pile 2, which has a yellow stone, and pile 3, which has a blue stone. So if you're unfamiliar with pick-a-pile readings, is basically you just go with whichever one draws you in the most, whichever one your intuition is telling you you should watch. If you're having trouble picking, you can put the number for each pile or the color of each stone on a piece of paper and mix them up and ask the spirit guides or universe or whatever to help you pick the right pile, the one that would have the best messages for you. And then you can go with that, or you can close your eyes and then when you open them back up, whichever one you're most drawn to, when you open your eyes back up, that might be the pile for you to watch. It is possible to be drawn to more than one pile, and if you feel that way, then it's okay to watch more than one, because there might be some extra messages in those piles for you. Also, this is for your sun, moon, and or rising signs. So if your sun is in Scorpio, but your moon is in Cancer and your ascendant's in Aries, as an example, then it might be a good idea to also watch the Cancer and the Aries videos as well, because there might be some extra messages or some synchronicities or other things that will help you out with your year as well. Besides the tarot cards, we also have some charms, and we're going to do the oracle spheres in each reading where you can ask a specific question that you might be able to get an answer to as well. Okay, we're going to give you a moment or so to reflect on the piles, and then there's timestamps in the description that will lead you directly to your pile when you're ready to watch it, and we'll see you at your reading. Hello Scorpio pile 1, those of you that chose the red stone here, we're going to see what kind of general energies or other things you might be dealing with for the year, what kind of things that you might do. We have the Black Moon astrology card that we're going to read first, and we're also going to read out of the booklet for that, because there's lots of detailed information for each card, and there might be some special messages there, and we don't want you to miss out on that. Then we also have our tarot cards that we're going to look at for extra clarification or extra messages. We will be looking at charms and then also doing the oracle spheres where you can ask a yes or no type of question and hopefully get an answer to that. So let's get started here. Let's see where we're at. Number 39, air element, communicating. Okay, so let's see what the booklet has to say about that. Okay. All action results from thought. So it is thoughts that matter. Sai Baba. Think it over first. Put some mental effort into it before you put your talk into action. Be logical and sort it out. The air element is about being objective and becoming mentally inspired. When we think of air, we think of clouds and sky and what connects us to the beyond. Air is all about lofty thinking, being broad-minded and expansive. Air sign people, Geminis, Librans, and Aquarians, sometimes come off as a little cool and detached. They weigh everything, mull the situation over, decide what they think, and then process what they feel. Air also reminds us of a flight, and flights of the mind are what the air element rules over. Those governed by air signs are mentally inclined and tend to distance the emotions. Air can represent overthinking and distancing the heart and emotions with abstractions and mental puzzles. But this works well when things do need to be sorted out and clarified. Air also represents clear seeing in all its capacities, so can signify clairvoyant abilities as well as seeing things for what they truly are without emotion involved. When the air element card presents itself in a reading, it is time to put into words what you want, what you desire, and what you expect. The good news is some issues you've been working on at the current time, and possibly from the past, are now being resolved. You are able to face them without pretense, but most importantly with honesty. Air is all about being quick on your toes, how curious you are, and how ingenious. Air also gives us the power to apply our energies in diverse ways. It's all about being spontaneous, in the moment, and landing on your feet, and where you are able to approach things with precision and sharpness. There is also freedom now to take a new path. Air signs look young, so this card is all about feeling young, looking at things anew, having energy, and being young. When your question is about relationships or romance, someone may not be willing to commit as much as the other at this time. It is possible that they are embarrassed or not as comfortable about sharing emotion as the other. So the air element card can mean there is a type of impasse in relationships. It can become a type of weighing of all the angles and odds and being unable to reach a decision, but this will only be a temporary matter. You can expect travel in the near future when this card comes up, and it should be a major trip, not a trip that might be routine. It will take planning, and air travel may be involved. Learning about new things will also feature, either through cultural experiences or visiting educational places. Mountainous regions may also play a part. Sometimes this card simply means ambition and the need to soar as high as you can, which is now possible more than ever before. Ideally, this card indicates the powers of manifestation, the magic of mind and thought bringing ideas into being. What you think might be can happen, so guard how you think and especially careful as to the words you choose. To spell a word, that is to say a word, is to cast a spell. The ancients knew that words held magic within them, so do thoughts. If nothing else, the air element card indicates that your mind and words have power. Use them well. The element card in brief, the air element card in brief. Travel, especially air travel, airports, weather, being in the clouds, using words, getting a piece of news, gossip, writing, speaking, lectures, classes, publishing, getting the word out, getting your point across, facilitation, having a divided mind, balance, testing theories, fairness, impartiality, science, music, wind instruments, the voice, the hands, eyes, and brain, ability to think things through, to analyze, intelligence, finding a solution, being inventive, cleverness, being humane, being humanitarian, overlooking prejudice, blowing hot and cold, towers, aloofness, having a cool exterior, motion, suspension, clarity and mental acuity, magic wands, feathers, birds, winged insects, smoke, incense, and smudging. The corresponding tarot card is the Ace of Swords, and the key ideas are travel, flight, writing, abstract reasoning, science, technology, and impartiality. Okay, so let's see how this might affect your year this year. Let's see what we've got going here with that. We've got Journey, number 2. Well, that goes perfectly well with this, saying that more than likely you're going to go traveling soon. So going on a journey is looks like that's definitely something involved. So more than likely you all are going to travel somewhere. All right, we have the 3 of Pentacles. We have the 7 of Swords. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Wands. Oh, nice, nice, nice. We have the Judgment card. The 5 of Swords. The King of Swords. The Wheel. The 5 of Wands. The 3 of Swords. The Emperor and the Moon. How intriguing. Okay. Well, what I can see here, first of all, you have lots of Swords cards. You've got the 3, the 5, and the 7, and the King. Okay, so that's quite a bit of Swords energy. And the Swords are all about our thoughts, the air element once again, our intellect, our reasoning, our ideas. So I really feel like this year, your ideas and the things that you can come up with in your mind and your inventiveness and also speaking and all that is going to be very important this year for you. You might go on speaking engagements. That might be part of the travel that you're doing. Maybe that's something new. What you say this year is going to be very important, and it might even cause some strife or some fighting or some other things. So be very careful what you say. You might even be judged on what you say. So be careful what you put out there in the world this year, because people might judge that and maybe even judge it harshly, because we're kind of in that mode right now. Where, some of the things you say sometimes get taken on. Also, it's interesting how we have the Three of Pentacles, because it's not even just your speaking. Writing might play a role in this as well. Communication in general, I think, is going to be very important for you this year. How you communicate with the world, the things that you're going to say to the world, the things that you're going to do. I think you're going to be able to put new ideas out. Put your ideas down in a journal. I think that's a really good idea. Because you guys are going to have some really great ideas this year. This is going to be a year of ideas. It's going to be a year of thinking through things, using your mind, using your intellect. We do have the Moon card, which does show some emotions, and maybe some hidden things we didn't know about. And the Three of Swords can also show where there might be some heartache or some emotional things involved. So you guys might have a few times in which your emotions might get the better of you, but I really see you guys being kind of detached from a lot of that this year because of all the air energy that's going on. That detachment, that aloofness kind of thing is really dominant in your spread this year. There could be some major changes come, some things that, you're not expecting, because you do have the Five of Wands and the Five of Swords. Both of those can indicate change because of the fives, but it's also interesting here as well. This Five of Wands, and a lot of them usually show youths training with sticks how to fight. They're in the training mode. And I'm thinking you guys might be learning a new trade, a new job, some other new thing, where you're learning how to do some things that maybe you didn't do before. You're kind of in a learning mode for part of the year. You might graduate and move forward, because the Five of Swords kind of, shows that. But once again, they're getting prepared here. Some Five of Swords actually show them coming back from a battle, and they have won some of the swords and they're coming back. But this one looks more like he's preparing for that. He's graduated from the Five of Wands energy to the Five of Swords, where he's ready to go out and battle. So I feel like you guys might be graduating from a program this year, from an apprenticeship, because this is kind of an apprenticeship card. I feel like you might be in an apprenticeship for part of the year, but then finishing that and moving on from that. And it's interesting because you've got the King of Swords, so it's kind of a graduation sort of. You got the Queens here too, so I really feel like with the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Swords, you guys have an opportunity to be dealing with a lot of powerful people this year, a lot of people that can help move you forward, help you on your journey in what you're doing. You might encounter a little bit of deception, deviousness, people trying to kind of block your way a little bit, but I think that because you're so clear in your mind and your thoughts this year, I think you're going to be able to see through that and go forward with that. We do have the Emperor card too, which is another very powerful card. And I feel like you're going to be dealing with a lot of those kind of people this year, a lot of bosses, a lot of higher ups, a lot of maybe political figures, other things like that. You're going to be dealing with some people that have some status, that have some type of power in the community, or monetary power, or, you know, in your job, related to your job, that kind of thing. You do have the wheel here, which kind of can show some changes in fortune or things changing your way. And since we talked about the fives earlier, where you're going to have some change, I do think your life is going to change some this year, or at least your thinking, at least the way you think about things. I really feel like this is the year where you're going to have a lot of ideas come to you. It's almost like things are coming to you out of thin air, almost like a radio transmission. Like you're thinking these thoughts and they come to you, and the light bulb goes off, and the whole 9 yards. I just kind of feel like that's your energy during the year. You're going to be doing a lot of those kind of things. And I do think that travel could play heavily into it. Speaking engagements, talking in front of panels, or in front of workers, or maybe even teaching a little bit, like teaching your method to other people, or teaching your ideas to other people, and getting out and doing that kind of thing. So that's kind of the mode you're in this year. There might be some conflicts involved a little bit, but I mostly see this as training, as progressing along. Like you start off maybe where it's a new thing, it's an apprenticeship, you're learning what you're doing, might be a new program, might be a study program, that kind of thing. But then you graduate and you move forward, and then you're able, ideas are going to come to you from that, you know, from what you learned, and then you're going to be able to move forward in it, and graduate that course, move on, kind of get there. There could be, like I said, a little bit of emotional stuff, or some hidden things at least. The moon kind of hides some things from us. And we do have the mischievous Seven of Swords here, where somebody might be kind of hiding some things from you, or there might be some things that you don't know right off the bat. And it might take you a little bit of time to learn it, or figure it out, or there might be some hidden knowledge there that you're going to unearth a little bit. Now I'm kind of thinking of, there's a very famous astrologer who works with Vedic astrology, which is Indian astrology, and he looks really, really in depth into astrology, and kind of turns things on its head once in a while, and comes up with new thoughts and new ideas on things that people hadn't thought of before. And I kind of get that energy where you guys might unearth some hidden knowledge, or some things that were previously not thought of in that field, or whatever it is that you're working on. So that's kind of the energy I'm getting here, where that hidden knowledge might come forth. So just keep that in mind, because I do think, you know, you're going to be dealing a lot with knowledge this year. That's just a big part of what the year is all about. Okay. We do have our charms. We're going to see if we have any other extra messages or clarifiers here. And then we're also going to do our oracle spheres right after we do our charms. Alrighty. Alright. Ooh, we have the money bag symbol. I always like that when that shows up, especially if the reading that has a lot to do with your career, journeying, or moving forward, because that just means I really feel like it could be lucrative for you this year, or get you into some things that you hadn't done before. We have some letters here. They could be initials. They could mean something to you. We have an H, E, E, and a J. I almost thought of the word heal, as in kind of holding back a little bit, but also, you know, there's a lot of other words there that might come to mind for you. So it's H-E-E-J, so you can kind of be thinking of some things there. We also have another tarot card, the Three of Spades. So that showed up double. The Three of Swords is what that is. And oftentimes the Three of Swords shows some difficulty, some heartache, some problems. And your other card here, the communication, there might be some communication issues in your relationships this year. You might have trouble communicating what you want, or what's happening, or the other person might have trouble communicating to you, and it might cause some strife, difficulties, or other problems in your relationship. So that's kind of something to keep in mind here. as well. Let's see what else we have going here. Okay, we have brave and trust. So I kind of see, because this is a new endeavor for you guys, because, you know, I kind of saw you having that apprentice type of energy, that trusting in your abilities, trust that you know what you're doing, trust in the ideas that come to you, I see as being a good thing. And being able to do that, I think, would be very important for you guys this year. We also have this animal paw here, which in this case I kind of see as a bear paw, because I think of bears as being strong and brave and being able to go out there. And I kind of feel like that's the energy that you are putting forth this year. We also have some other interesting measures here. We have the feather, which is just always kind of messages from spirit, or your spirit guides are helping you this year. They might even be kind of your muse, or helping you come up with some of these ideas that you come up with. So that's kind of there. We do have a little bit of good stuff here as far as the love department goes. So even though I mentioned that there might be some trouble communicating, or some strife, or some other things, I didn't really see a breakup. I didn't really see things not getting together. And with these symbols along with the charms here, I really don't see that for hardly any of you at all. I think that you have the key to love here, and even the four-leaf clover here, which is kind of, charm. So you might have kind of a charmed love life this year, because you do hold the key to that. You also have the tennis rackets, which is kind of coming together. So some of you guys might be getting into a new relationship this year. You might be meeting somebody new and coming together. You might be able to communicate really well with them, because communication is very important this year. And so then it's that kind of thing. You also have the dragonfly, which shows more strength and wisdom, and some other things like that. And I do think you guys are going to have some wisdom this year and some strength. You do have the scorpion, which once again is kind of that deviousness, that unexpected pain, or unexpected hidden things, because scorpions are kind of out, way out in the desert or whatever. So to me, I just kind of see that more as the buried things, the unexpected things that might come up this year, because you are going to have some of that with these 5 energies. We have the rabbit, the star rabbit, and we also have the white rabbit. So we have a couple of rabbit energies here. Rabbits, to me, are kind of meek and kind and quiet and that kind of thing when I think of rabbits. So, but also the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland is a kind of a magical kind of thing, because he goes down the rabbit hole, and there's all these magical, mystical things that happen. And so I think you guys might be going on a slightly magical journey this year, where things, I do think that the ideas and the other things that come to you are going to be innovative and different. Because if you think about it, when Alice in Wonderland was written, it was very unique for its time, and very different, and just very unusual. And I think that's the kind of ideas you guys are going to have this year. You're going to have very unusual, very unique, ideas out there. And then we also have the kitty and the bow here. The bow usually represents to me little children, dealing with youth, or being youthful. And this card did talk about being youthful and feeling youthful. And also kittens can kind of make me feel that way as well, and rabbits, because I just think of these things that you might own when you're a child, and you hold them, and they're fluffy, and they're wonderful, and they're cuddly, and you have them. And so I do think of that kind of childhood energy of the wonder of the world, and the magic of living things, and all of those kind of things. And so I think that magic might be there for you this year, if that makes any sense to any of you at all. That's just kind of the feeling I have, that some of you guys are going to kind of feel young and magical and kind of free. All right, let's go into our oracle spheres. and see what our answers are. We have 4 different stands you can choose from. We have yellow, red, blue, and green. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can decide which one you'd like your answer to appear on, and we'll get our answers. All right. Number 1, yellow, is a yes. Number 2, red. Is another yes. Number 3, blue, is a no. Very definite answers. And number 4, green, is a no. Okay. So, number 1, yellow's yes. Number 2, red's yes. Number 3, blue is no. And number 4, green is no. So that's the answers we have to our Oracle Sphere questions. Guys, I really hope you had some messages that were helpful to you for your upcoming year. Please give the video a thumbs up. Share this video and the channel with your friends and family. Put it out there on all the different social medias out there, and give them a chance to see us as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. All of those things are free to do, and they help the channel grow greatly. The channel's been growing steadily, and we'd love to keep that trend up, and we really appreciate it very much. You can also leave me comments in the comment section. I love to read those. They're very useful to me, so you can do that as well. Check out our other videos on the channel. We have lots of timeless tarot readings on lots of different topics that might interest you. We also have flip-throughs of the different card decks so you can see what they look like. We also have videos on how to read tarot cards. So that might be of interest to you. Coming up in the near future, we're going to start a new series of readings along with the pick-a-piles where we're going to do rune readings with numerology. So that series might be of interest to you to check out as well. Okay, guys, that's all we have for you. I hope you have a wonderful year 2021, and we look forward to seeing you in future videos. May the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Scorpio Pile 2. Those of you that chose the yellow stone here, we're going to see what the general energies are for you. We do have our Black Moon Astrology card. I'm going to look through, and we're going to read out the booklet for that at first because there's lots of information in the booklet, and I wouldn't want you to miss out on something important. We're also going to look at our tarot cards for more clarification and more messages. We are going to look at our charms here in a little bit, as well as our oracle spheres where you can be asking a yes or no type of question that you can get an answer to as well. So let's get started and see where we're at. All right, number 34, 10th house, the world. Wow, okay. It's interesting how I think you guys are going to be dealing a lot with your career this year. The first readings seem to have a lot of that as well. Okay, number 34. The desire for fame tempts even noble minds. St. Augustine, the city of God. Fame in the world at large. In astrology, the 10th house, which is at the top of the zodiac, embodies the masculine principle and represents the father or primary male influence, or at least a very powerful, influential man. It can also represent the man in a woman's life. Because the 10th house opposes the 4th house, it can sometimes represent the woman or the mother in your life, but mostly the 10th house stands for reputation and your standing. This is an ambitious card. It's about owning the world and being on top of the world. It is the ultimate card to have for when you need to be confident in what you are doing and go forward with what you want and nothing less. Because the 10th house is the house of Capricorn, it indicates you are about to put forth a diligent and concentrated effort. The climb and the advancement of your reputation is what the 10th house card means when it turns up in a spread. It also suggests looking at everything as the big picture. Since the 10th house is ruled by Saturn, being required to tell the truth, or to be honest, will have great bearing on how you advance your goals. People will discuss what you're doing, what you have stated or are about to make. You may be contacted by the media, become recognized, or at least you will see your efforts in some public forum. The matter in hand may have something to do with governments, traveling to other lands, or encountering foreigners. Or it could just mean your ambitions are about to gain momentum. Layers of illusion will be removed, your essential self disclosed. This could be in relation to the public or a possible love interest. If a love interest, they could be older or more established, or they will work along beside you in meeting your goal. If this card comes up, it can sometimes mean playing along with the status quo to get ahead. It could be to do with paying your dues, grabbing what you can, and taking advantage of a situation. This card suggests how high you can go in this lifetime, or at least concerning the issue at hand. Since it symbolizes the world, it also represents the earth, so working the land or acquiring land is something that may come into play, and can therefore denote growth, crops, plants, farmers, and farming. Since Saturn plays in, this card can also represent a reaper, such as you reap what you sow. So with the 10th house cards, you get back what you give. In essence, though, this is the primary card of fame and infamy, your legacy and what you will become known for. It is the house of success and failure, and this card will tell you what will likely come about depending on the surrounding cards and upon the energies that surround you at the current time. Truth and honesty will decide this matter. The universe is supporting you now. The 10th house card in brief: power, your position of power and how you thrust into it. Reigning powers, influential people, meeting persons in power, the world travels, the public, the masculine principle, the father, the husband, the most important man in your life, the subject of the reading, if male, your reputation, how you are viewed, fame and infamy, your legacy, the upper spine, physical endurance, aging, measure, time, clocks, using others, sucking up to others, the sycophant, hard work, or not working hard enough, planning, diligence, step-by-step success, not overnight success, being methodical and efficient, banks, privilege, the elite going where the money is, achieving success, people paying attention, the voice of wisdom, ownership, destiny, and your place in the world at large. The corresponding tarot card is the World, and the key ideas are life's calling, what you have to do, career, the mother, the father, glory, reputation, and fame. Wow. Sounds like it might be a pretty intense year here. Let's see what else we've got going on. All right, we have the Sun card. Yeah, very intense, very much. The Sun card is often represented by the 10th house as well, because it also represents the father and those types of energies, and that being out there in the public eye, the government, that kind of thing. So this is very much, looking like that's where we're going. Let's see what else we have going here. We have the Seven of Wands, the Tower, the Ten of Cups, the Two of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the Devil, the Empress, the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, the Strength card, the Page of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Ten of Cups again. Wow. Okay. Well, I do think being recognized this year for something is definitely something that could happen. You're going to be dealing with authority figures this year. It's interesting how Pile 1 dealt with that as well. You're also going to have a major change come up in your life. Some things are going to change for you. It's going to be very different. The Tower card represents that. It usually represents some sort of ending and then a new beginning. So this is going to be a new beginning for you in this life, a new stage. And that might have to do with romance, because we do have the Two of Cups here. And it is possible that you're going to get married, meet your soulmate, move up in the romance department. You've got two Ten of Cups energies here, which is wonderful. It's beautiful. It's basically getting all the familial happiness that you want, all the sun rays, rainbows, beautiful happiness there. And with the Two of Cups, I can really see how your recognition this year just might be with your spouse, or with your spouse's family, or with a business that they're in, or something like that. I almost see there's a connection here. I do think that, business-wise, this could, go real well, but I also kind of see the emotions involved in it, and I get the feeling, what I'm kind of hearing is almost like you meet a spouse and they're kind of powerful people, and you get involved with them and you get noticed by them, and you might move up in a company that they own, or somehow you gain through that. I kind of get that feeling for some of you anyway. At least that's kind of what I was getting from this, is that you're going to be able to move. You are going to be dealing with some pretty powerful people this year. You have the King of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Empress card. Those are pretty powerful cards. They can deal with your emotions a lot and your finances, and that's almost why I keep seeing that this might be related to your partner in some way, or to a love interest, or somebody you're going to get together with in some way. I really feel like these two things are kind of connected for almost all of you. The recognition, the fame, the possible fortune, all the other things involved, being recognized is kind of what I'm seeing here. I do think might be directly related to a partner that you have, a love interest, a partner, or somebody you're married to, a spouse, those types of things. I just feel like that's kind of in the offing for you guys this year. We do have the Devil card, which sometimes can denote things that aren't good for us, or things that are tempting, or maybe leading us down the wrong path. And I think that might be possible for some of you. But I really, in this case, to me, the devil in this case is a little bit more that if you get recognized, some people might not see that very well and might try to sabotage you, or not. You might have to be a little defensive. You might have to go on the defensive a little bit this year, because you do have the Seven of Wands energy, in which you might have to fight off some stuff and whatever. And that's kind of what I was seeing here, is almost, not that you would be influenced by the devil so much as maybe other people kind of are, with things like jealousy and greed and those kind of things, and that they might try to sabotage you. And that's kind of where the Nine of Swords energy is coming from too. Usually the Nine of Swords deals with our worries, our nightmares, things hanging over our head, that kind of thing. And so usually it's a little bit more of a mental thing, not really a physical danger, or not really maybe not even a true danger. But I think this year you guys might be slightly in danger of at least sabotage through some people that might be jealous of you, or not happy with your success or your fame. So basically, there is going to be some recognition. There is going to be dealing with some powerful people. There is going to be that kind of thing. But there's also the useful energy involved too, with the Page of Wands. Pages, they go on an adventure and excitement. They have fresh ideas and they're fearless and all that. And I feel like that's the kind of energy you're going to have this year. You're going to have that youthful energy, that getting out there, that real go-getter kind of energy, that, new ideas might come to you. That might be why you get the recognition and the notice from these other people, because you might be showing that kind of thing. So the Strength card is important in dealing with your possible enemies here, or other things going along. With the Nine of Pentacles here too, though, I see kind of some good manifestation energy of manifesting this happiness and this recognition. So you almost have the Midas touch this year. You almost have where, the kinds of things that you're doing, the kinds of people that are seeing you, it's just kind of magical. You have the magic touch. You are just able to kind of pole vault this year through the ranks and get that recognition and get that thought. The 10th house deals a lot with our work energies as well, so I really do feel like this does have a lot to do with work and authority figures, because that's kind of the main things with the 10th house a lot. And I do think that that has a lot to do with your reading. Your focus is going to be a lot on your career, but I do think in the romance department it's probably going to be pretty good as well. Like I said, I really feel like for you guys, those two things are almost intertwined in some way. So, keep that in mind when the time comes too. All right, let's take a look at your charms, because there might be some other messages here that might be useful. And then we can also look at our oracle spheres here in a moment, so you can be thinking of your yes and no type of question. All right, let's do a good shuffle here. All right, let's see what we've got. We've got a few letters. We got a K, E, M, and B. So those might be initials of somebody, or words might come to your mind when you see these letters together, or you might be able to kind of form some partial words or some beginnings of words that might come to your mind or other when you see those. So we got a K, E, M, B. All right, let's see what else we have. We do have a few other cards here. We have the Ace of Hearts. That's beautiful. The Four of Hearts. That's beautiful too, which we'll talk about in a minute. And I just dropped a charm. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh, I heard it drop. But I think it might be out of my way here. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Okay, let's see here. Oh, we got the Three of Hearts. Okay, several Hearts cards there. Those are Cups cards. The Ace is great because it shows the overflowing abundance and the new start and the new ideas and the new things coming. So I really like that. The Three of Cups, it's the joining, the community, the coming together, celebrating. I feel like maybe a marriage or another celebration might happen. Also coming together of the community and other things, which, I do think you're going to kind of join a familiar community this year. So I think that has something to do with that. We also have the Four of Cups, which, fours are the opposite of the 10. They talked about that in the card. And that deals with home life and family and all of that. And that's also the foundation. So I kind of think that, with the Ten of Cups cards that you had as well, that you're going to be forming a good foundation for your family and for love and those kind of things this year. So that's pretty cool. We have the Sun and Moon symbol here, which is great because the sun, once again, just shines bright on you. Things shine bright. With the Sun and the Moon together, that's both energies together. And it's interesting how you had the 4 and the 10 because the 4 is kind of the moon energy as well, because it's kind of the mother energy. And they're kind of opposite to each other. So it's kind of like having it all. It's kind of like having everything, which is really good because the World card says that. So it's almost like you're going to have everything. You're going to have emotional and financial and, happiness and career and all that this year. It's kind of all just going to kind of come together. That's kind of what I was seeing with that. We sort of have the, cake with the cherry on top with love. That's just kind of showing that. Also, another love charm here is the good night, good night, good night. That's a tucking in energy, a snuggling, happy, homey feeling of where you can, get into bed and somebody will tuck you in and you say good night and you're all, happy and cheerful at home. So I really think home life is going to be a pretty good one this year for you guys. We also have this wonderful heart with Cupid. So I think if you guys are not in a relationship yet, I do think that that's coming this year. If you are in a relationship or have a marriage or other things, I think it's going to strengthen and get stronger and happier this year. I just kind of see, that's kind of, it's almost like Cupid's arrow is going to shoot through you again, even if it's a relationship that you've already been in. We also have, it takes a big heart to teach little minds. That's really good energy as well. because some of this, you know, we had the page, like I said, you're going to have youthful energy, and youths might also be kind of important in this. Some of your ideas might deal with youngsters or might deal with young people, or, you know, help them in some way, shape, or form, which I really like too. We have the dragon energy, which I really like, because they're strong, they're powerful, they're magical, you know, and all of that's really important for you guys this year, because it's, you know, it's kind of energy that you're going to be exuding all year long. So I really like that the dragon is in here. We also do have Cupid here. So like I said, for those of you that are not in a relationship, I do think Cupid's arrow is going to strike this year. And if you are in one, I just do think it's going to, you know, just get that much stronger and better. We do have the hacksaw, which to me could be cutting off old things, getting rid of things that don't serve you anymore, and that's where the Tower card can kind of come in as well, where, you know, you get rid of old things and then start anew. But also the hacksaw to me too is also a building kind of energy, because it's used in building things. And so I think you're going to be building, you know, on things this year as well. We do have the parrot, which it was interesting how it talked about you might have to do with foreign lands or with traveling. And parrots to me are exotic birds, and I do think of other places, tropical places or other places when I think of parrots. So it's very possible you guys will be doing some traveling this year, or dealing with foreign lands in some way, shape, or form. We also have the ribbon hope, so you know, that just shows to keep having hope. Don't lose faith. That showed up in the first reading as well. Not that particular charm, but another hope charm. So I do think for you Scorpions this year, it's really important to keep hope and faith and believe in it, because it looks like a really good year for you guys. It looks like, you know, there's going to be a lot of really cool things coming down the pike for you. Let's go ahead and look at our oracle spheres. And if you've been thinking of your yes or no question, we have 4 different stands you can choose from. We have red, number 1, 2 yellow, 3 green, and 4 blue. So you can be thinking of a number or color or wherever you'd like your answer to appear on. And we'll go ahead and you think of your question and we'll get our answers. All right, number 1, red, is a yes. Number 2 is a not sure. Number 3, green, is a yes. And a number 4, blue, is a very likely. Okay, the not sure just might mean that there's some things that need to be played out first before an answer can be given, because it might affect the outcome, or that the question wasn't that clear, so it might need to be re-asked. Okay, number 1 is red was yes, number 2 yellow was not sure, number 3 green was yes, and number 4 blue was very likely. Guys, I really hope you had some wonderful messages coming out of this reading. I really hope it's going to be useful to you for your upcoming year. Please give the video a thumbs up. Share this video and the channel with your friends and family. Put it out there on all the different social medias. Give them a chance to see the channel. Maybe we might have some good messages for them too. Also, if you could leave me comments in the comment section or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. All of those things are free to do, and they help the channel out greatly. We've been growing steadily and a little bit at a time, and we like to keep that momentum up. And we really appreciate that. And those are the easiest ways for those that to happen for us. So we really appreciate you guys doing all of those things for us. It helps us out so much. Check out our other videos on the channel. We have lots of timeless tarot readings on lots of different topics. So those might be of interest to you. We have videos on how to read tarot cards. We also have videos on the flip throughs of the different card decks, so you can see what the different cards look like. Upcoming in the near future, we're going to start doing a new series on rune reading with numerology involved in those readings. So that's a series that might be interesting to you as well. All right, guys, we look forward to seeing you in future videos, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Scorpio Pile 3. Let's see what kind of energies we have going for the year 2021. Those of you that chose the blue stone here. First of all, we have our Black Moon Astrology card. And And we're going to go ahead and read the booklet on that. That way you can get some really detailed messages for that. We also have our tarot cards that we're going to look at for more clarification and messages. We're going to look at our charms, and we also have our oracle sphere, so you can be thinking of a yes/no type of question that you'd like an answer to, that you might get an answer to later on in the reading. So let's see where we're at. Ooh, number 5, Mars Force. Let's see what the booklet has to say about that. War does not determine who is right, only who is left. Bertrand Russell. The Mars card suggests there is something you may have to fight for. The red planet, fiery Mars, is named after the god of war and agriculture, the primary military deity among the Romans. All festivals for Mars in ancient Rome were in March, the month that heralds in the solar time of Aries, the sign that Mars rules. Named by ancients the bright and burning one, Mars is considered an inner planet, so that means it is capable of being seen by the human eye. Its landscape is reddish-orange, and pictures often show an unfathomable peak sky. Mars makes this shove hard in a way the other planets don't. One might call him the bully among the planets. Mars is the ruler of sexuality and aggression. It is a lustful planet that drives us, allows us to face the difficult challenges in life, and to follow our passions, no matter what stands in the way. If we did not have a Mars, we would not know how to fight. This card also means to push back in terms of defense. When Mars is strong in a chart or a reading, you may either face aggressive situations with the need to confront or defend, or an intense, rousing sexual encounter which may or may not involve romance. Mars indicates overwhelming attractions. This is a time when you feel not only forced but driven. It is a good time to consider goals and desires and not allow them to fall into the shadows. Right now, action is needed. It is not a good time to sit back and wait. When this card presents itself, you are being challenged to protect your interest or to move ahead quickly on something. The Mars card indicates a type of passion and drive that is linked to the spirit and life force. In ancient British magic, this type of energy was the cunning fire that enabled men and women to act like gods and goddesses, to create and defend, to build energy, to seek and claim, to force and pursue, thus to change fate. Turning up this card infers that a fire has been lit under the passions, and it is time to achieve what you want in life. At least you are being shown a clear path. It could be romantic or sexual in nature, or it could also involve other types of relationships, but more importantly, goals that should be pursued at the current time and as vigorously as possible. It can also indicate a formidable competitor has just arrived on the scene. Other issues to do with this card include the law, the military, sport and games, challenges of all kinds, becoming more physically active and involved, but also fiery tempers and actual fires. The question to ask now is how to take action. How do you create momentum to achieve your goals and dreams? Have you been challenged to protect your own interest? Are you being pushed too hard by someone or something? How do you clear your path to get what you want? Are you willing to battle? Has someone or a situation challenged you to a fight? Mars card in brief. Struggles, challenges, the color red, fast cars, the military, sports events, law enforcement, being forthright, pushing ahead, ambition, being number one, enthusiasm, events that roar towards you, taking you unaware, excitement, noises, others having battles, other people baiting you, being bullied, confronting bullies in the family and on the job, defending the position you have earned, losing your head, accidents or other problems due to being in a rush, overheating, skin rashes, high blood pressure, hemoglobin of the blood, iron, the phallus, drive, animal desires, being ardent, passionate, or lustful, sheer energy, strength, and impulsiveness. The corresponding tarot card is the Emperor, and the key ideas are battles, adversaries, competition, sports events, and rushing defense. Okay, I'm going to look at the other cards here and see how this might play out. But it's interesting how the Scorpio energies this year are very strong movement type of energies going on here. So let's see what else we have. Number 21, strategy. And it's also showing a journal. That's interesting. I'm going to look at the other cards here, but I think I got some ideas as some things going here. All right, we have the Four of Swords. the Five of Cups, the Chariot, the Eight of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, the Lovers, everything is fine, and the Two of Wands. Okay. Well, yeah, definitely. Okay. I definitely see quick movement, possibly trying to go quickly from one passion to the next or from one area to the next. You have the Eight of Wands card and the Chariot. They both show that kind of quick movement, that fast pace type of energy. It's interesting how we have a couple of 10 energies here, but we have this one. This would be normally the 10 of Swords. And there is a 10 of Swords in this deck, but this is a bonus card where everything is fine. And what that kind of shows is, to me, as the 10s are a completion energy, a finishing up energy, a being able to move forward energy. And I feel like you guys are kind of in that mode where you've had a lot of battles, you've had a lot of fights, you've had some things that you've had to deal with, and now you're able to recover from that fight. You're able to gather up all your resources and then be able to move forward. The Wands energy is very interesting because it is that fiery passion. Mars is very much fire and energy and passion. And it's interesting how you have a couple of Wands cards here, the 2 and the 8 here. I do think that your leadership skills, your ideas, your imagination, your new thoughts, your new things, I think that that is going to serve you well this year. And I think you're going to be able to move those ideas forward very, very quickly and go forward. Because we had the contemplation period, the finishing up with the 10 of Wands. We had these other energies going on here where you know, we had the respite after the battle. We had the 5, which, you know, we had the respite, and then we had these 10. So I really think that you guys have been going through some things that has caused you to recontemplate your life, has caused you to reevaluate things, look at things from anew, pay attention to things, and now all of a sudden we have the strategy card here, and now all of a sudden I think it's the time for you to take stock of your life and how do you want to go forward and actually do that. And now is the time for action. Now is the time to take that action. And I see that as being important. Now, there may have been some issue with a romance or your home life with the 5 of Cups energy going on here. The 5s do denote change. And so this may be a change that was dealing with your emotions, something dealing with you very emotionally, something you're very emotional about. So it may be a love life. It may actually be your career because, you know, you may get very emotional about that. That may be something that matters greatly to you from that standpoint. And there may have been some changes going on there. You may have lost your job, or there's a change in job or other things. And you've been trying to evaluate how your life needs to go forward now. You know, this everything is fine energy here. You know, it's got all these swords sticking out of her, and she's laying there, and she's not able to really move or do much. But she has her cell phone, so she's able to call for help. She's not bleeding out, which is great. And it says everything's fine, which means that she can go forward now. She can get past all of the strife, this energy, this other stuff. It's a 10 energy. It's a completion energy. And you're able to move forward now. And now I think you're going to have some new ideas, some new paths forward, some new things. And that's where the Chariot and the 8 of Wands really come in. You're going to just be able to shoot that out there and do that. And I do think that that is going to behoove you well. I think it's going to be a a good thing for you. I think it's going to work out well for you. We do have the Four of Pentacles, which is almost a hoarding energy, or tucking things away, or, you know, burying things. But this particular Four of Pentacles has always been kind of interesting to me, because it almost looks like instead of hoarding it away, she is actually digging it back up. That she's going to utilize it now. She's going to use it for something that she needed it for. And so to me, that just kind of shows that the energy that you've built up, the recuperation time after the battles, the other things that you've been able to do here, you're now able to go spend that energy and put it out there in the world and do that kind of thing. I do think there might be some contemplation that you're going to need to do. We do have the strategy card, so I do think you're going to have to think about how you want to move forward, how you're going to do that. We do have the Eight of Cups, which kind of shows, okay, I've completed this job now, and now I'm moving forward and, you know, go on to my next task. We have the Two of Wands, which is almost a deciding energy of possibly which path to go on now. You know, how should I go forward? But this one, she's very confident. And I do think that once you've made that decision of how to go forward, you are going to be able to take that energy and just move forward and go with it, which is really great. You do have the Lover's card, which it is possible that some of you, this does deal with your romance. And you're going to have some very fiery, passionate romance coming. If you're in a romance, it could just strike up and become very, very fiery and passionate this year. If you don't have one, it's very possible you will get into one that's extremely passionate. All of the Scorpio readings this time for the upcoming year show a lot of energy, passion, fire, movement, all of that kind of energy going on, both in love and career and family and all of those things. And so that is something that just seems to be kind of a theme for all Scorpios this year coming forward. Let's go ahead and take a look at our charms, and we'll see if we have any other messages that might be useful. Also, we will look at our oracle spheres so we can get an answer to our question. All right. Let's see what our charms have to say. Okay, we have the money bags, which has showed up really well in Scorpio. I think you guys are going to have a decent financial situation this year. Your ideas are going to help you out financially. You're going to be able to move forward in your career. That kind of energy, I think, is kind of going on here for you guys. So that's great. Let's look at our letters. Maybe we have some words or initials or things that kind of come forward here for you that might be useful. So let's see what we've got here. All right. We got P, A, K, E, E, R, C, and U. Okay, so I see cake, which is great because I always think of, you know, having your cake and eating it too, or seeing the sweeter side of life, or getting some of the rewards of life, that kind of thing. I also see pace, P-A-C-E. And so I think things are going to go at a fast pace for you this year once you get past the strategy stage, once you get past that contemplative, that healing from things that have gone on maybe in 2020. Once you've gone past that stage, gone past that thing, I think you're going to be able to move forward very quickly. We do have the Four of Hearts, which is the Four of Cups. That's a good stable foundation energy. And it's also one that deals with our family and our home. So I think that might be something that you guys might build on this year. It's so interesting how the Scorpios have had a lot of the same energies, which is really great this year. We have the Jack and the Queen of Cups. Once again, dealing with your emotions. You're going to have some things dealing with your emotions this year. For sure, with these Cups cards. It might be romantic in nature, which would, you know, that could be really good. So that's something for you to think about as well. So that could be really, really cool. The Cups energy does deal with things that we really care about emotionally, things that matter to us from that point of view. And the Queen, she's full of compassion and warmth and support and kind of all that kind of energy. And then the Page is full of idealism and a dreamer and all that. And so I think that that youthful, idealistic energy is something that you're definitely going to be able to put forward this year. You notice how the girl that's putting away money here, or pulling out money, whichever way you want to look at it, is very young. And I do think you're going to have that youthful energy to be able to make it so that you can have that chariot go on these new adventures and these new things. Also, because of all the fiery energy we got going on here, the fire energy is the Wands energy. And even though you didn't have a lot of Wands cards show up other than the Ten of Wands, that energy is permeating throughout the whole reading. And the Wands energy deals a lot with spirit and dealing with spirit, but it's also lots of energy and creativity and impulsiveness and that kind of energy. And so I do feel like you guys can be very creative this year. I do think you can come up with creative ideas, creative solutions, other things like that. Because we do have the Mickey hands, and I always see that as a creative energy because, you know, people were creative when they can do animation. We also have the Bulldog energy and the Fearless energy. So I do think that once you take that leap forward, once you go forward, you're going to be fearless. You're going to hold on like a bulldog. You're just going to go for it and just go out there. And I do think that's an energy that's important for you to have this year. And that's kind of true for all you Scorpios as well. We also have Imagine and Miracle. And I was talking about how you have the creative energy and other stuff showing up because of these fiery passions. So definitely don't be afraid to imagine things how they could be, or imagine new ways to do things, or imagine your life in a certain way and go for it. Also, Miracle is always great because that just shows that something could happen that you didn't think could happen. Or, you know, to me, miracles are just life giving us the things that were already possible. We just didn't know they were. So then you can kind of go there. We also kind of have the Rainbow Cloud, which I really like because that just shows lots of beautiful rainbow energy, which is that happy, magical energy that you can have. And I do feel like your life might be charmed that way this year. We do have Love and Peace, which is great. That might mean the love coming your way that we were talking about earlier. We also have Health, Happiness, and Treasure. I do think that those are kind of things that you're going to have a lot of this year. A lot of happiness, a lot of health, and treasure, which is, you know, good financial situations. You also have the Key here. This key is interesting to me. Every time I look at it, I almost see something different. Sometimes it looks like a steering wheel to a ship. Sometimes it looks like a flower petal. Sometimes it looks like the inside of an orange. So it has lots of different looks to me. But whenever a key shows up in a reading, it means you have the key to something in your life. It means you have the key to move forward. And in this case, it reminded me of the orange peel. And when I think of oranges, I think of growing in the sun. I think of, you know, very bright, happy, cheerful kind of color with the orange. I think of all that kind of happiness and other stuff. So I think you guys have the key to that this year. I believe that that's kind of the energy that's overflowing. It's kind of that sun, happy orange energy that you have going. Let's look at our oracle spheres here. Basically, if you've been thinking of a yes or no type of question, we have 4 different stands that your answers can appear on. We have green, blue, red, and yellow, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you decide which one you want your answer on, and we'll get our answers here. Ooh, that was fast. Number 1, green, is a yes. Number 2, blue, is a probable. Number 3, red, is another probable. And number 4, yellow, is a very likely. Okay. So, number 1 green was yes, number 2 blue was probable, number 3 red is probable, and number 4 yellow is very likely. So that's our answers to our Oracle Sphere question. And I hope you guys got a lot of good messages out of this reading. Oh, Hannah, baby, stop. I really hope that was very useful to you. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, share this video and the channel with your friends and family. Put it out there on all the different social medias. Let them check out the channel. Maybe we have some good messages for them. Also, leave your comments in the comment section. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. All of those things that you can do for us, liking, sharing, leaving comments, subscribing, all of those things help the channel grow, and they're all free to do. And we've been growing kind of steadily and surely for the last several months, and we'd like to keep that growth going, and we really appreciate it. That's the easiest way for that to happen, and we just really, really, really appreciate it. If you get a chance, check out all the other videos on the channel. We have lots of timeless tarot readings on lots of different topics that might be of interest to you. We also have walkthroughs of the different decks, flip throughs where you can see what the different decks look like. We have videos on how to read tarot cards. Also coming up in the future, not too long from now, we're going to start doing rune readings along with numerology involved in those readings. It's a new series we're going to add to the channel, so that might be interesting to you as well. All right, guys, we look forward to seeing you in future videos. I hope you have a wonderful year 2021, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye.